Hi, this is Brandon Spillane from thirstgym.com. Today we're going to talk about the pause squat and how you perform and everything you can really get from this exercise. It's a fantastic, simple variation of the back squat used to improve your strength in the hole or in the bottom of the squat. So the big issue with squatting raw is always the bottom for most athletes. Either staying tight down there, being strong down there, or the transition of coming out of the bottom and then kind of coming through that sticking point that might even be a little bit above parallel, and then trying to continue to drive up through the weight. So the pause squat is fantastic for mainly working on the positioning and the strength of the bottom. You could certainly pause at any point during the exercise as part of your accessory or supplemental work, so you can pause halfway up, halfway down. You can definitely be as descriptive as you want, but in general 90+% of pause squats are probably going to be done in the bottom or in the hole of the squat. So what we really want to focus on first is your regular squat movement. So whatever you're doing for the day, the pause squat's probably not going to be your go-to movement for the day. It's probably going to be your second or maybe even your third. So think of this more as a supplemental exercise to help build your squat, not the main thing that you want to do. But what we want to make sure is that as we're in the bottom, we want to focus on pushing the floor apart, keeping our chest good and tall, abdominals good and strong, squeezing the bar, and really owning our position. As we're in the bottom, your pauses can be probably anywhere from 1 to 5 seconds. I've given some athletes 5-second pauses, and the reason for that is it makes them decrease the weight a lot to where they really have to think about positioning in the bottom. 5 seconds is a long time to sit down there with loads on your back, and obviously you're not going to be able to use as much weight as your normal reps, and we're going to increase time under tension in an area where you are probably having issues, which is why you're probably doing the exercise. So to kind of walk you through this, first make sure you watch my how-to back squat video. It will tell you everything you need to know about back squatting. If you have any questions about the back squat, that's the place I would go to first. You got that down though, you're ready for the pause squat. We're going to line our hands up in our normal squat position. Everything here is going to be the same. I'm just going to kind of talk you through the exercise. So as we go down, get underneath the bar, get set, get my walkout done, get my feet where I want them, take my breath. As I go down, I'm going to descend at my normal pace, hit around 90 degrees, give or take, and then we're going to hold that for a good 2 count for this example for today, and then drive back up. So here we go. So notice as I go down there, I get down there, I'm still good and strong, I'm not bobbling up and down, I'm not moving side to side, I'm keeping the bar squeezed, I'm trying to stay good and tight, and as I come out the bottom, I'm leading with my upper back and chest into the bar, and that's very, very important, because one big benefit of the exercise, outside of just time under tension and positioning, is that as you're in the bottom, you have to reinitiate the movement, so to speak. So you obviously are staying good tight in a good isometric position, but we've got to be able to remove the weight. You know, if it is actually truly paused and isometric, we'll say in a perfect world that it is, we've got to accelerate the bar again to get going. And so what I really like about the piece of this exercise is that as you do that, you can work on leading with your chest, because as you transition in a normal squat, that's one big thing you have to make sure you do, is that you don't descend too fast, because if you descend too fast, the weights can actually crash you down as you go to come up. I'm sure you've all seen those videos of people go down with a really bouncy squat, and what happens is as they come up, the weight is actually still going down and it kicks their butt out, and then they kind of eat it. Those are very hard to recover from. This is a great job in terms of working on your tempo not only down, staying it controlled, leading with the chest as you come up. So when it comes to programming, how would you implement this exercise? I've already talked about that. I think it should probably be a supplemental exercise. I would not use this as a max effort variation. You're not going to max out on this. But I do think depending upon your pauses is probably where it's going to depend upon how many sets and reps you do. We talked anywhere from 1 to 5 count pauses. Obviously, the longer your pauses, the fewer reps you're going to do, just because of the sheer amount of time under tension. So I do think that for most people, a 1 to 2 count pause is where you want to start. And then if you have athletes that are a little bit more advanced, or they have really hard time staying good and control in the bottom, that's when you start to bring that pause up in terms of length to really make them own position. So for a 1 to 2 count pause, I really think 3 to 4 sets of about 4 to 6 reps is a really good place to be. Sometimes for 1 count pauses, I'll even give people 8 reps if I really want to try to work on hypertrophy and actually get them squatting a little bit more. But that's the highest I ever go is 8. And then we're talking about 5 count pauses. We're dwindling all the way down to singles, doubles, and triples because that is a long time under tension in that position. And we do want to make sure that we are still using some moderately heavy loads as we can. 5 seconds is a long time, so we're obviously not going to be able to use a ton of weight if we're doing 10 reps of 5-second pauses. That's almost a minute straight of squatting, and that sounds like hell, and I wouldn't do that to anybody. So just keep that in mind. So in general, probably 3 to 5 sets of anywhere for probably a single for your long stuff, all the way up to like a set of 6 for your shorter pauses. So, but if you have any questions about the pause squat, how it might be implemented, anything from execution-wise, again, check out that back squat video that I have for you. But that's the pause squat. If you got any specific questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.